Hello again, and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for again tuning in. We last left off at the BB creams and foundation. To give just a little bit of the summary of what we did before, we discussed about skincare and how to make sure when choosing your skincare, knowing about the skin types, your skin type, to get the best out of your cleansers, to get the best out of toners, anything, night creams, day creams that you're using. Same thing applies for your foundations, your powders if you use, your concealers if you use, your correctors. These are all the things that we're going to discuss today. So what I'm going to do, the things that I have here, the Maybelline BB creams, as I stated before, Maybelline is one of many BB creams that's out right now. But the thing that Maybelline has, and also a lot of other lines have done this too, they also have the 2% BB cream that contains salicylic, and that is for more acne-addict people. So if you have mild to moderate acne, this is something that's good that you can still use to control the redness. Now, I don't suggest if you have a full face of breakouts and acne. Technically, BB creams, anything like this is something that you may not want to do based on the irritation, the sensitivity, because acne skin is very sensitive skin. It is no different than rosacea skin. It's very sensitive, and many people have to understand that. So it's not anything that you can't do. You just should be on the lookout or be very, I'm going to say a little nervous of trying certain things that's not going to really work for your skin. But for other skin types, the normal, the dry, dehydrated, mature, menopausal skin, combination skin, as well as oily skin that does not have acne, you can utilize these BB creams. Today I'm going to use a BB cream on my skin. Right now there's nothing on my face at all. It's cleansed. I do have on the moisturizer. I have the SPF on my skin right now. I do anywhere from 15, 30, or 50. As I said again, to recap, you definitely want to make sure you have your SPFs on your face. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. Your skin still should have SPF. I cannot stress that more and more. SPF is so important because there's so many different forms of SPF that you can use. If you do not want the heavy titanium dioxide type of look, that whitish look to the skin, the zinc oxide, you don't want these things. You don't have to have that because there are SPFs that will not give you that. So with the BB cream that I'm going to use right now, does have an SPF. And this SPF in the Maybelline BB cream, I believe this is a 30. So this is good. And remember, you do need to reapply every 2 hours. So I'm not suggesting by no means to go out and take your BB creams in your purse or what have you, or take the BB creams and put it in your car and feel that you need to reapply this particular, because BB creams do have a tint to them. Many of them have a tint, many don't. But for the ones that you're going to use as a foundation, does have a tint. So what you want to do is possibly use an SPF spray that won't clog your pores. These sprays are usually, as I stated before, the Coppertone has a great one, Neutrogena has a great one. You can use these that make sure they say for clear skin, because that means you can apply that to your face because it will not clog your pores. Now, what I'm going to do with the BB cream with the Maybelline, because I'm going to use 2 of these products. I'm going to use a medium and I'm going to use the deep. Now for me, I like to always get an exact look with whatever I'm doing. If I'm going to do foundation, there are times that I don't wear foundation, and then there are times that if I do decide, I usually opt for a BB cream. That does not mean that everybody has to do it that way, by no means. If you're that person that you sometimes will do a BB, sometimes do CC, as I said, color corrector, or you just like to do a foundation, you can do so. I'll show you some of the foundations before I do the actual look. E.L.F. is a great line as well. E.L.F. has some foundations that are actually really good. We have some liquid foundations. They do have tinted foundations. E.L.F., if you don't, or if you have not heard of E.L.F., that is eyes, lips, and face. This is all this company actually addresses. They don't do so much as heavy-duty foundations and things of that nature. They do lightweight things as far as their foundations or their tinted moisturizers. They're more about the lips, the eyes. They do have a great primer. They have a few of them, in fact. that can be used. As I said before, primer should always go on top of your moisturizer before your foundation. There are some people that like to put a primer on even before they put a moisturizer on, and then they come back with another primer. That's totally up to the person. I don't believe in telling everyone that there's rules. The only rules that you really have to go by is your skin type. Know your skin type. That's the most important rule of them all. Know your skin type. You'll always hear me stress it. Get used to this because that is the most important. So, I'm going to take the medium BB cream. I'm going to take a little bit. I'm going to put in this little glass case right here. Just a little, not too much. You don't have to do a whole lot. Now again, some people, they may not need to mix any of their products, and that's fine. But for me, I'm a mixer. I like to mix different looks. I like to mix the foundations. I like to even sometimes mix a little bit of a luminizing cream in there if I want a dewy look, and I don't want to use powders and all those things. I'm a person that like a 5-minute quick look. There's the times when I do want to draw out the look, and I will do so. But right now, I'm just showing you little things that you can do. Now, I'm going to take the Deep from the BB cream, Maybelline. I'm going to put a little bit, just a little bit in the Deep, because the Deep has more of the reddish tones in there. I have undertones that are yellow and red, and that's another thing that you have to pay close attention to with your foundations. Have to pay attention to your skin, your undertones. That is going to be the telltale, not your color of your skin. It doesn't matter if you're Caucasian, if you're Asian, if you're African, African American, Latina. It doesn't matter. It's about your undertones. That's what matters, and that's what you have to keep in mind. Yellow undertones, pinkish in tone, these are undertones that you have to look at and you got to be cautious of. Foundations, truthfully, should never really have a lot of pink. Pink is not anybody's friend in their skin. You can have a pinkish tone to your skin, but the thing that you want is that yellow, because that yellow is going to counteract and get rid of any reddish tones to the skin, and it's going to balance out your skin nicely. That is important. You can't get enough of yellow in any of your foundations. The most important. It can be a mixture. It can be a warmer tone, a neutral tone, a cool tone. These are just the tones. You can understand your skin tone. You can understand all of those things, but understand that the color of the skin, your undertones, is very important. Not just the shade on your face. So I'm going to take a foundation brush here, as you see me doing. I'll mix a little bit in here. If I feel that I need a little bit more, which I do feel I need a little bit more of maybe the light, well then again, possibly not. So it's mixed in pretty good. Again, you can use your hands if you choose to. You can use a foundation brush. But since I said I'm going to do this foundation, the BB cream as a foundation, excuse me, I'm going to use a foundation brush. Foundation brush, you're going to get an airbrush look with the foundation brush, okay? This is why you want to use a foundation brush. If you want to get more of a full application, this is the brush that you would use. And also, let me also say this, because this is something I will always stress. Clean your brushes on a daily. Use a brush cleanser. Weekly, use your hair shampoo. Doesn't matter what type of hair shampoo you have. Use it, rinse it out, put it on a paper towel or a towel, lay it flat, let it air dry. Because these brushes contain so much bacteria, after you're using it for one day, the product, the oils in your skin, they get wrapped up in these brushes, and you really do not want to reapply, because this is how and why your skin will completely turn back, and I usually say bite you, because you will start to have skin irritation, skin breakouts, and that's something you don't want. You do not want to have your nose full of blackheads and whiteheads. Whiteheads is soft oil. Blackheads is the hardened, dark oil that surfaces underneath the skin, that takes a while to surface to the top of the skin. So this is things that you don't want to have to deal with. So I'm going to take the handheld mirror here, and you're going to see me begin this whole process. I like to start right at the jawline, as you see here, and I move in and outward. This is what I do. I'm not a person that believes in, and you do not have to put this stuff on your neck area. I see a lot of women do that, and I'm like, you don't need to do all that. The only time you want to do those types of things is if you are going to take pictures, and yes, you want a clean, finished look, you want everything to look cohesive, then yes, you want to do it on the neck. And you see me going back and forth in the area that I started off with, okay? Now I'm going to take a little bit more here. Forehead area, same exact thing. You want to go in and you want to do this. What I like about, the BB cream in itself, the BB cream tends to go right into the skin. It's not anything that's going to sit up on the skin. It absorbs nicely. It gives you a very finished, very flawless, beautiful look to the skin without you having to do a lot. And again, this is for those people who really just want a beautiful finished look, nothing too heavy, something for daytime, even if it's nighttime, and you just want something that's giving your skin a beautiful radiant look, but nothing else. It does not have to be full avant-garde type makeup. You don't need to have all of that if you don't want to. Now, if you want to, go right ahead. This is something that can be utilized. Some people like to use a BB cream also as a primer. That can work too. You can use these things as a primer. There are certain BB creams that you can use as primers that are tinted. And if that's what you like, to give yourself even a fuller coverage, a more opaque look, you can do so. So I'm going to go again, back over in here. Now the eye area, again, some people do like to take the BB cream and use it as a concealer. So I'm going to show you, you can do that. I'm going to tap right in here. And again, when you do this, you want to make sure you have an eye cream on your eyelids. Also, an eye primer. An eye primer is good to put on after this before you are to do any any eyeshadows or anything like that. So an eye primer is really good to do this. Make sure you work this into the eye area. Pat it in. If you are a person that deals with a lot of discoloration around the eye area, not just the typical bluish tone that a little bit of everybody has, that's not a problem. But if you have really dark circles around the eyes, you can utilize a BB cream first, and then you can come back over it and use a yellow base concealer or corrector, and then a concealer, if that's something that you feel you have problems with and you want to erase those problems before you actually start your full on face. So this right here, this is the last part here, and you see I work this pretty quickly. I don't feel that you have to take too much time with this. And if you do have issues on the skin, hyperpigmentation, things of that nature, redness from any breakouts or anything like that, this is a great time at that time that you want to use a color corrector. And when you say, well, when I say color corrector, you're possibly like, okay, what is exactly a color corrector? Many of these lines that I put out here right now have color correctors. Maybelline has the Master Prime color corrector, and that right there helps with green. Well, that has the green, and that helps with redness. If you have a lot of redness in your skin, the green actually gets rid of redness. There is an illuminizing. That's when the skin is like I usually say, very dull, and you want to brighten the skin. That's a good one. Just your basic primer or corrector, that's fine. I am going to actually bring one of the color correctors out from Wet n Wild. This is phenomenal because they're giving you everything in a wheel. You got the green, you got the lavender. That lavender, it can be used for, again, if your skin is not quite the way you want far as looking dull. It can also help with bluish tones also on the skin. This is something it can help with. As you see right here, the yellow gets rid of a lot of the dark circles or the dark areas around the eyes. Sometimes I even will take the yellow, and I'll show you in the next time we actually meet up again, how you can take the yellow to even highlight. So many cool things that you can do with these things. It's not just based on correcting. You can play with it. And I'm a firm believer, have fun with your makeup. Don't make it so serious. So I'm going to put this here. Now, we did the concealer part. Now, the last thing that I'm going to show before we wrap up for today, or before, I should say, concealer, I'm going to show you Maybelline's concealer. If you still feel that you need to use a little bit concealer on your skin, Maybelline has an excellent concealer. This is the Master Pro concealer here. There's a variety of colors ranging from light, fair, medium to deep. And these colors here can work for a little bit of any and everyone's skin tone. Remember, up underneath your eye area here, you don't want your concealers to be too light because it will have a contrast with your skin, your actual face, and you don't want that raccoon look to the eyes. You want everything to look cohesive. You want everything to blend nicely. Now on the eyelid, you can always bring lighter colors as far as your concealers up on the eyes, because you want the eyes to actually come out. You want everything to come forth, and that's the whole thing of having lighter colors on the eyelids. And you can use that concealers. Lighter concealers can be perfect for that. It doesn't all the time have to mean you gotta have a light eyeshadow. You can take the lighter concealer at the top, make sure the color concealer is going in here that's actually your skin tone, and use color correctors if you feel you need to correct any bluish tones, dark tones around the eye. Sometimes you may feel all over the eye, so put this on first, or do sometimes what I will do. If I feel the other eye area looks a little bit darker, I will actually mix the color corrector as well as the concealer together, so I'm not doing a whole lot. Because sometimes we don't want to do too many steps. You want to do this, you want to get it done, and you want to be done with it. And that's how sometimes you want to do your makeup, and there's nothing wrong with that. 5-minute face is all you really need. So the last step that we're going to show you today is going to be E.L.F. again. Translucent mattifying compact powder. I have oily skin, so for me, I don't like to shine, overly shine. Shining somewhat is okay. A dewy look is always beautiful, just like a matte look is beautiful. It's all on your preference. If you prefer a matte look, go for it. Just know, I think mattifying powders are a lot better than just your pressed powders, because pressed powders actually throughout the day they oxidize on the skin because your natural oils come out, and it can change or alter the look of your foundation. That might not be something that you want. So a mattifier, this is what we're going to go with. As you can see, does not have to be your skin tone complexion. It really doesn't. Neutrogena has a mattifier. Wet n Wild has a mattifier that is very sheer, very light, and anyone can use that. Does not matter your skin tone, your ethnicity, nothing. Mattifiers don't do anything more than matte the skin tone down, and it absorbs a lot of the oil. So powder brush, I'm not a believer in the sponge on the face. That's just something I don't believe, because it carries a lot of bacteria when you use it. A lot of people put it right back in these cases and use it again. So we're going to take a little bit here. That's it. You don't need a lot. For me, I take it all over the face area. You can hit the brows, it doesn't matter. Do whatever you feel you need to do. Sometimes it's underneath the eye. And that's it. If you want to go back over it and add a little bit more, you can. For me, I don't. I don't like too much powder, a powdery look on the face. I think too much of a powdery look is just way too much for me. I don't suggest that for others. If you like more of a matte look to the skin, definitely go for what you feel comfortable with, what you think is the best look for you. For me, I know. Take down a little bit of the oil shine, but still leave myself a little bit of shine because it is a dewier look. Now, lastly, this is all the big talk. Everyone talks about it, so I'm going to give it a nice little breakdown. Setting spray for makeup. Couple of lines here. E.L.F. mattifying setting spray. Again, if your skin is oily, you can use this. We have the L'Oreal Infallible. Excellent choice as well. They have two different ones, one for matte as well as for dewy. This right here is the Makeup Forever. This is the mixed and fix. You can mist this on your skin as a setting spray, and you can also fix, let's say, any makeup mistakes that you made, whether the liners, the mascaras, your lip liner, your lip gloss, etc., etc. Whatever you feel that you made a mistake in, you spray this a little bit on a brush or a sponge, makeup sponge here, something like this, and therefore you can get rid of the problem. The thing that I'm going to do right now, I'm going to use the inflammable here, and I'm going to show you how you would do this. You take it, you can shake it if you would like. Hold it 6 to 8 inches away from the face. You spray. Now, I like to spray it on this way. I take a little bit of a Kleenex, and it's not to wipe anything off. You take this, and you can just do a nice little fan Just a little fan, just to dry it down. You don't have to do anything else. If you feel that it got a little too moist for you, then that's fine. It's not going to harm the skin. It's not going to do anything to the skin. It's going to set the makeup nicely, as well as it gives a very refreshed look. Sometimes we can get a little bit of irritation if the powder, maybe, who knows, the brush, anything can irritate some people's skin. Again, let's go back to rosacea. Let's go back to anyone that has any skin sensitivity. Sometimes these things can happen. So you have sprays like this that set the spray as well as refreshing the skin. You can put something like this in your purse, your bag, in your car. You can do whatever you choose to do. And just know, all of these products, again, at your local drugstores. You don't have to go far to get a great look. It's right there at your convenience. Just know, as always, makeup is important when you do it right. All you ever have to go by is your skin type. And again, remember this, it's not all the time about getting the best look. It's about making sure that skincare is always the most important, because you got the only one chance to make the first impression.